and give them some view of the future.
Yes. What your view?
Well, I agree. And I'm somewhat cautious about the outlook. I mean, I think we do appear to have dodged an extremely dangerous bullet. I guess all bullets are dangerous if they hit you. But when we sit back a couple of months ago, I mean, I think there were some very legitimate reasons to be very scared. It wasn't just that you were panicking. There were real reasons, none of which anybody who is alive had ever really seen, and that's what scared people. But I think, along with Tony, I would say, if you have a multi-year view, I think the world is probably going to be better in 5 years than it is today. Although it's going to be bumpy for a while, and maybe Asia's where you make your money instead of the United States, but there will be money to be made and so forth. But I also agree. I think we've lived in an environment mostly for the last 25 years where people have developed a set of unrealistic expectations about the returns capital can generate. And it's very difficult for people to change their psychology. They get accustomed to something, and then when some sort of structural change takes place, they're locked into the expectations that had been established in years past. And I think we have a lot of people today at pension funds, at individual retail investors and so forth, whose expectations are really out of kilter with probably what the future can deliver. And disappointment generally develops when expectations are misaligned with reality. It's the personal level as well. I mean, people take on too much debt when they extrapolate far into the future, and I think it is going to be a time where people, I mean, if very well-to-do families can find it difficult to come up with capital, it's difficult for people who don't have any capital to do so. And I think that's, it's going to be a more cautious time. I don't think that's to be a bad time, but I think the Canadian dollar, the one thing that worries me about the Canadian dollar is I'm not worried about quantitative or easing or anything. It is such an airtight story, right? That the Canadian dollar is the best looking currency among the major currencies you can find, and it's very appealing. And of course, naturally, it's somewhat unsettling that it seems too good to be true. But I do think it's the best story, and I think that Canada is quite well positioned if they can keep their finances in order.
Thank you very much.